Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, in today's video we need to talk about something absolutely massive for part of the community and something that another part of the community probably will not care much about or are actually not going to be too happy about. And it is about spending in MCOC. You see, up until now, for the first 8 years of the game, basically if we wanted to get any items in the game we needed to tap on the store, unit store, and then we could choose to exchange our hard-earned money for various bundles and offers and what have you, and obviously buy our Odins and whatnot if that is something you choose to do. But there has always been this one or two things that, well, Kabam doesn't necessarily appreciate, and players do not necessarily appreciate either. From Kabam's end, any transaction made with these apps effectively gets part of the money that we spend automatically sent to Apple. Well, all of it goes to Apple and then Kabam gets paid later. But the point is that out of every $10 that we spend in the game, Apple gets like $3 or $3.50. And that is a huge amount, obviously, that Kabam does not necessarily want to give to Apple. And the other thing is that because of store rules and store regulations, all of these prices go through iTunes. And then when it comes to purchasing these bundles in different countries, you might not necessarily be getting the best deal. For example, the Paragon Daily Special and all the daily specials, they cost £5 in British money in my example here, but they also cost $5. And objectively, anywhere else in the world, really, £5 are worth more than $5. But it all pretty much always depends on the pricing that Apple does for different countries. And those are issues that Kabam has addressed with the Summoners Market in Kabam blog. So if you just go to Kabam blog and you open, that is where we often get our news, where update info comes and so on and so forth. Now there is an option to go to a store called Summoners Market, and you can buy units and in-game offers from this store. And it's cheaper and you get more. To explain it best, we're going to use here an example of Odin. Obviously, Odin in-game gives you, how many units does it give you? 3,100 units. So buying it on the website would give you extra 310 units, which is not irrelevant, which is extra 10% basically. And, that's a significant amount to get, especially over the course of time. It all adds up. So going to this website is going to be the best value for money, objectively speaking. And it's not just that. For anybody that does not live in USA, there's an added bonus because all of these prices are in dollars. And then when you choose any way that you want to pay for that, they get converted to your currency. And in my case, an Odin would cost £81. So I would, if I choose to buy this Odin right now, I would basically save £20 or close to £20 because in game it's 99.99 in British pounds, and I'd get more units. So it's kind of like a no-brainer that this is the better value for money type of thing. Save in UK, for instance, nearly 20% of the price, which is fair because that is approximately the exchange rate from dollars to USD, and you get more for your money. And that's not all. Just like these bundles got an upgrade, you need to take a look at the upgrades that we have here. For instance, on Paragon Daily Special, we have 5% Tier 6 class Catalyst Fragment Selector, 1 Paragon Crystal, 1 Paragon Stamp, and Mythic Nexus Crystal Selector. So there's a lot of customizability. You can notice that it has Paragon Crystal in it. It has Tier 6 class Catalyst Fragment Crystal. And if you go to the same bundle in the game, then it's not quite as good. We have Skill Nexus, so we can't choose the class of this Mythic Crystal. Instead of Tier 6 class Catalyst Fragments, we get Tier 3 Alphas and Tier 6 Basics, and a smaller amount of Tier 6 Catalysts. But again, we can now choose with that selector, and there's no Paragon Crystal. And if you take a look at the store, then even a Thronebreaker daily special here, when you put in the I button, offers you 2006 star shards, 2800 tier 6 basic fragments, 2250 tier 3 alpha fragments. And if you compare it to the bundle in the store, where is the Thronebreaker one? Grandmaster's Cavalier Thronebreaker, here we go. It's obviously, double of these resources, for instance, here. This is a selector and double the amount of 6-star shards in it as well. So all of these bundles seem to be significantly superior in the store as well, which is also something that might cause some friction and some problems. Because if you are, for one reason or another, unable to use this, then obviously you will feel that you're paying more for getting less compared to the people who can. On the bright side, I do think that there are a ton of ways to pay this, especially if you visit this from mobile. I was able to use Apple Pay, for instance, and there are plenty of different payment methods that they have made available to make me believe that pretty much anybody should have access to this and should use this should you choose to spend money on the game. I am not commenting on the state of the game and stuff like that in this video at all. Merely the fact that this store is definitely the superior thing. Now, with all the hype and with all the, benefits that this provides, it does offer a cause for concern as well. And that cause for concern is that these bundles, at the moment, have separate purchase limits than the ones in game. Which means that you can kind of double dip. Now, on casual day, obviously it's not going to be a big of a problem, but when Kabam will release, let's say, a good offer, and you can buy it in-game if you choose to do so, and then you can come here and buy it again, and effectively you will have double the amount of offers available. Thus, people who do have expendable income will have even bigger growth rate. So every whale is definitely going to celebrate this because they will be effectively able to purchase these offers twice, whatever Kabam releases. And obviously, that will have the biggest impact on, let's say, July 4th. Because if you imagine everything that Kabam offers on July 4th, with those purchase limits of 3 and 4 and stuff like that, and obviously those are some of the best offers of the year, you can go to the game, buy all the bundles there, and then you would presumably be able to come here and buy even better bundles, even cheaper. And obviously it would cost a crap ton of money. Not many people, in my opinion, would be able to afford it, but those who can would simply, there would be no stopping them. They would be able to get basically double the amount of resources that other players could. With even better offers, and obviously that over the course of a couple of these sales would even further distance high spending players to medium spending players. And obviously the players who do not spend at all would get left completely in debt, or people who spend very little. So there is cause to worry for the fact that with this slime move, not only Kabam manages to make more money for the money that, from the purchase that we spend, which I think is fair, by the way. I think, this is a solid way how to bypass the Apple. A ton of companies do that. For instance, you can't even get a Netflix subscription from Netflix app. You need to go to their website to open an account to pay them in order to avoid this thing. So a lot of apps and companies do this in order to bypass Apple's 30% kind of policy, which I'm perfectly fine with. As far as we're concerned, many people thought that Kabam's getting all the money already anyways, which isn't the case. And if they are getting more of the money that we spend, I really don't mind. I don't mind, or I actually, prefer that Kabam earns more, so potentially the game has more legs and more future. And they have more resources and money available to hire more people and stuff. Hopefully that is what they do with the money. What I do think, though, can and will likely cause problems is the fact that, yeah, these purchase limits are not tied to the in-game ones. Which means that with this move, not only Kabam will earn more money, or more, well, all of the money that we spend on the game aside and bypass the 30% thing, Kabam effectively also kind of doubled the offer caps. So when you're going to see next offer, and it's going to say limit 4, it will actually have limit 8. When you're going to see July 4th things, instead of having, that amount of money there, they basically doubled that. So it is interesting to see how Kabam is going to carry on, whether that will be the case or they will somehow manage to tie these bundles together, which I hope they will, especially for like July 4th and things like that. But let me know what you guys think in general. And other than that, yeah, I will leave a link to this Summoners Market in the description, but I'm sure you can find it by yourselves. Let me know what is your opinion on this change, because this is definitely absolutely massive kind of like change and win for Kabam, without a doubt. But yeah, what total impact it will have, it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information